Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm Amma Mama, and today I want to do my TBR for September, and then next week I'll give an update on kind of what I've read this week. I'm thinking I'm gonna try to stick to maybe like 5 books this week because I'm studying for something right now, and so I'm not sure, or 5 books this month, but I'm not sure how much time I am going to have for just reading right now. So I don't want to put too many books on there. If I can read more, great. If not, I'll kind of leave it at that. You may have noticed, if you've been watching for a while at all, that I'm in a different kind of place in my room here. I completely rearranged, and so things are, I don't know, I feel a little backwards right now because of where I have everything, but it's also very overcast, and so I have to have like all these lights on, so I feel like I've got a little bit of a glare, so sorry about that. Anyways, so as I had said, I'm going to pull from my TBR jar for September because I don't want to just, I don't know, start picking books that are newer just for the sake of picking them. But I did get a break in August by just kind of choosing some that I just felt like reading. So now I'm going to pick from my jar. And then, like I said, I plan on sticking to 5. Now, if stuff I get seems pretty short, I might change that, but that's kind of the plan to start with. Okay, so the first book is going to be Leslie fucking Jones by Leslie Jones. Okay, so Leslie fucking Jones by Leslie Jones. It's got a foreword by Chris Rock, and it's just a memoir, so not really much to say about that. I've been wanting to read this one since I got it, just because I really like Leslie Jones, so I'm kind of interested to see what she has to say and how the writing is and all of that. So this will be the first book. All right, next up we have Everything's Eventual, and this is a Stephen King book. All right, so Everything's Eventual by Stephen King. This is a book of short stories. So there are 14 dark tales in this. And I don't know if all of them are like super short or if some of them are more, novella kind of length or anything like that. Again, this is one I've had for a while. I don't know if I didn't know that it was short stories when I got it, or if I just, hadn't read it. But now that I've read more of his short stories, I've found that I have enjoyed them. When I can find them to listen to, I actually enjoy listening to these short stories, just because then I can do other things while I'm listening. So we'll see. I don't know if I'll read this or look for an audio version, but either way, I'm looking forward to reading, Stephen King. We're getting close to Halloween. I don't know if you can tell, I've already got Halloween bedding and curtains up because my son really wanted to start early, and we usually start in September anyways, so. All right, so that is 2. All right, next up we have One Piece, Volume 1 by, I'm going to mess up the name, Akira Odo, maybe? That was very convenient that it was Volume 1 and not Volume 2, because I would have switched to that. But my son watches the original anime, and so I've seen some of One Piece for the anime series, and then we watched the live action version and really, really enjoyed that. So basically, Monkey D. Luffy, he wants to become a pirate, and so this particular book, and he wants to be the pirate king. So like the series, like he's trying to be the king of all the pirates and everything, and everybody underestimates him basically. But so he has been listening to tales, and I'm just kind of reading the back of this, but he was inspired by listening to tales of the buccaneer red-haired Shanks, but his life was changed when Luffy accidentally ate the gum devil fruit and gained the power to stretch like rubber, at the cost of never being able to swim again. Years later, still vowing to become the king of the pirates, Luffy sets out on his adventure, one guy alone in a rowboat, in search of the legendary One Piece, said to be the greatest treasure in the world. So the cartoons are really cute. The animes are really good. It's one of the few, I'm not like a huge anime fan, but sometimes I'll watch them with my son. And so there's some that I do like, some that I don't care for, but One Piece I actually enjoy. Again, not that I won't just sit down and just watch it for like huge amounts of time, but if it's on with him, I'll watch it. But I did really enjoy the live action. I thought they did a really good job with it. So I'm excited to actually read the story itself to kind of see. Hopefully the series had stuck pretty close to the books. So this will be fun. And I don't think, my understanding is those books aren't like super long reads, so I don't think it'll take, too long to read. All right. Then I have The Second Ending by Michelle Hoffman. And this one I had picked up, I don't remember, I had gotten money for my birthday or something, I think, last year. And so when I'd gone shopping at Barnes to pick up some books that I had wanted, I saw this one too, and it sounded kind of interesting. So Prudence Childs was once the most famous kindergartner on the planet. After teaching herself to play piano at age 3, she performed at the White House, appeared on talk shows, and inspired a generation to take up lessons. But as adolescence closed in, Prudence realized she was being exploited and pushed into fame by her cruel grandmother, so she ran away. Broke and alone, she took a job writing commercial jingles, which earned her a fortune but left her creativity adrift. Now, 48, with daughters away at school, Prudence agrees to compete on a wildly popular Dueling Pianos TV show to reconnect with her inner artist. Unfortunately, her new spotlight captures the attention of her terrible ex-husband, Bobby, who uses the opportunity to blackmail her over a long-buried secret. If she doesn't win, she won't just be a musical failure, she'll also be bankrupt and exposed in front of millions. Her on-air rival, virtuoso Alexei Petrov, a young internet sensation with a massive audience and a dreamy Russian accent, has problems of his own. His demanding parents made him a technically flawless pianist, but left him without friends, hobbies, or any kind of life outside his music. As they prepare to face off on stage, the retired prodigy and the exhausted wonderkind realize that the competition is their chance to prove to their bad exes, tyrannical family members, and, most important, themselves, that it's never too late to write a new ending. So I don't know that, it doesn't sound like this is like a romance novel or anything like that. It just kind of sounds like it's general fiction, some drama. So I'm hoping I'll like this. It sounded really interesting, and so I'm excited to read it. I thought it sounded good. So I am at 4 right now. So One Piece I don't think will be too long. That book's kind of short, but again, I am studying for something, so I'm not sure how much I want to take on, but I'm going to do at least one more, and depending on what it is, I might pick one more. Okay, maybe not. Hold on. Okay, the reason I made that sound / face is that the next book that I have, and sorry if I mess up some of the or pronunciations of these, but I have the Purgatorio by Dante Alighieri. I'm not sure if that's how his last name is pronounced, but by Dante. And I want to read this. However, it is a, I think, an allegorical poem. So it continues his journey from the darkness of hell to the divine light of paradise. Now, I have never read The Inferno, which I think was written before this one. I've read bits and pieces of it in school, but I had this, or I had picked it up at some point because I was like, oh, I want to read more of this. But it's also a little daunting because poetry and like longer allegorical kind of poetry and stuff, I don't know. I have a love-hate with them sometimes, depending on how they're written. And since I haven't read a lot of this, I wanted to read it because I own it. Okay, so this says, beginning with Dante's liberation from the Inferno, part 2 of the Divine Comedy carries us along as he and the Roman poet Virgil struggle up the steep terraces of the earthly island mountain called Purgatory, miraculously created as a result of Lucifer's storied fall. I can't read. As Dante travels through the first 7 levels, each representing one of the 7 deadly sins, he observes the sinners who are waiting for their release into paradise. Each Echelon teaches a new lesson about human healing and growth on earth as well in the spiritual world. As he journeys upward level by level, Dante gradually changes into a wiser, braver, and better man. Only when he has learned from each of these stations will he finally be allowed to ascend to the gateway, or ascend to the gateway to heaven, the Garden of Eden. Now I'm remembering a little bit more why I had this. When I was in seminary, I read a book, and I don't remember who wrote it. If I can find it, I'll put it up here, but I'm not sure if I can. But I read a book called, I think it was called like the 7 Levels of Hell or something like that. It was a modern day retelling of this. And so because of that, I was like, oh, I kind of want to read now the original. So I think that's why I actually had picked this up. Now that I'm reading what this is about, because it's been a long time since I've even looked at this, I think that's what it was. However, this is a pretty good sized book. It's got, a decent introduction to it, but then it's also got the poetry, story. Hopefully I didn't need to read the first one before reading this one for it to make a lot of sense, because I'm probably not going to. So I am going to read this, but I think I will stop here. I thought I was going to maybe pick one more, but that one feels a little more daunting to me. So if I finish all of these, I'll add something to it, but I'm going to stop at those 5. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.